Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Actually, I've just worked something out that when I was just making my speech, so the reason I couldn't be here earlier, I've just finished making my speech at the main stage. But I could, while I was speaking, I had my sort of clap lines and things, and the hall responded well to that. But I could hear clapping in the background all the time. So maybe it was coming from here or something, maybe from this room. So, I was wondering where that was coming from, but I think it came a bit too early. But it's good to be here, and I want to thank CPS for putting this on, and Robert in particular for all the work that you're doing. And you're right. This was when you told me CPS would be here. It's great that you've got this enclosure here with so much good stuff going on. But when you told me about the focus on social mobility, that's what I wanted to attend. And the reason is it matters to me personally. It's one of it's the main reason I'm in politics in the first place. And it's something I want to very much focus on, and I've tried to do that in every role that I've had in government, and certainly I will be doing that as a centrepiece in my work through the Treasury. But why does it matter to me is because I think you look across the country, and I think that we have a country where the very good news is I think we have abundant talent across the country. It doesn't matter which part of the country it is, which region, from north to south, east to west. We have abundant talent in our country with people from all backgrounds, all men and women and young and old and all ethnicities and things. We have abundant talent. But what we don't have is abundant opportunity throughout the country. I think it's too concentrated in certain parts of our country. I think it's fair to say, for example, in Southeast and London in particular, it gets more than a sort of lion's share of infrastructure investment, schools investment, and so forth. Doesn't mean to say it doesn't need it, but it's not equally spread throughout the country. I referred a moment ago in my speech in the main auditorium. I thought one of the messages from Brexit, for example, from the vote to Brexit, was a desire in parts of the country, sort of people crying out for getting more attention from politicians from some of the things that they think are missing in their communities. So we need to spread more opportunity across the country, and I think the government has an absolute central role in doing that. And we do that through public services, and maybe we'll have some questions on that in a moment. But broadly, we need to make sure we have the highest quality public services throughout the country, and that's why, for example, in my spending round that we just had a few weeks ago, I focused a lot on schools and education, particularly further education, because I thought that was part of our education system that wasn't taken seriously enough. And we also, though, need to make sure, really remind people, the reason we can invest in all these public services is because we have a dynamic free market economy. And that is essential to get that message across, because, of course, at the time we have today, we have the Labour Party that is probably, I think it's fair to say, the most hard left political party in Europe of any major party. It is really and properly given up on markets and enterprise, totally given up. And we know without that, you don't have the engine that generates the wealth that can then be spread around the country by making sure people have the right type of world-class public services. So I think the two go hand in hand. I think we Conservatives understand that. We can see, for example, how we cherish the NHS, we invest in the NHS, but we always remind people that you can only pay for that through a dynamic free market economy. And having that type of economy that generates the wealth and investing that in world-class public services will be at the heart of everything that we do. Thank you very much.